Everyone. Good evening, everyone.
So you just probably want to give them a minute, Abisola, because this is going to be trickling in now.
Okay.
And then John, once we have people in, I can go directly to your slide and you can start it.
That'll be fine. Thanks, Jen. And we can take questions while I'm in here. That's fine.
All right.
I think the question is going to be in the chat.
All right, Abisola, I think you can open it up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Chief Equity Officer, Latifa Phillips, I want to welcome parents, families to the Lowell Public School Kindergarten Registration and Lottery Information section for 2023. At this time, I have with me some members of our team in the business office. I have with me here John Decodo, the Transportation Director. I have with me Rebecca Duda, the Immediate Past Family Resource Center Coordinator. I have with me Fatima. I have with me Vanessa, our Family Bilingual Coordinator. And I have with me also our McKinneyVento Coordinator, Sarah Zatowski. And I want to appreciate Jen Meyers for putting up this webinar at this time. My name is Abisola Ogunsheye. I'm the Family Resource Center Coordinator. And at this point, I welcome us again to this section that we have been waiting for. This is an exciting time for us to have this section to prepare our kids for the next school year. I want to welcome John Decodo, the Transportation Coordinator Director, to start this section. Thank you, John. You're welcome.
Thank you, Abisola. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Just going to give you a brief summarization of what you need to do for school bus transportation and the form that you need to fill out. Once you receive your school assignment letter from the Family Resource Center, you can then go to the Lowell Public School website, and I think Jen Myers will help me out here.
Yeah. Oops.
As we wait for Jen, we have our interpreters on at this time. So I'll kindly request that they introduce themselves so that we know the language support we need at this section. Thank you.
While Jen's getting this together, once again, once you receive your letter for assignment to the schools for your children, you first have to make sure that you live more than 3/4 of a mile from your home to the school that you're assigned. This will also be pertain to if you have a babysitter / alternative address. If you are eligible, if you are eligible for transportation, you would go to the Lowell Public School website. You see green at this point, and click the transportation form. And what you do with the transportation form is fill it out in its entirety. Everything is very self-explanatory. Obviously, you'll be hitting the 2023-24 school year. You'd click that, and then your child's name, date of birth, And the school, you will then click on the school at which you are assigned. You'll continue going through all the questions, which is basically address. If you want just pick up in the morning, or you want just drop off in the morning, or you want both, you put the address that you want and you fill it out, and then you would just submit it. At that time, that is all you need to do. You'll get an email from the transportation department stating if in fact you do get a bus stop, or it will also tell you that you are not eligible for busing due to either you're out of zone or you are less than 3/4 of a mile from your house to the school. I think we can go back to the slide again, Jen. Does anybody have any questions concerning the form? I will take questions for the translators as well. Jen, will you see those, or will Abisola see those questions?
I'll see them. There's nothing in the chat right now.
Okay, great. And lastly, concerning when will you receive a school bus pass? All kindergartners through 4th grade will receive their school bus pass prior 3 to 5 days prior to the first day of school. We try to hold off as long as we can because a lot of last minute requests come in, which would affect the routes. Therefore, we want to be as efficient as we possibly can in the routing and the timing of your bus stop for your child. So once again, the school bus passes will be sent through the US mail to your house 3 to 5 days prior to the first day of school. If there are no other questions, Jen, I think I'm all set.
Thank you, John.
All right, Abisola, thank you.
So at this point, I want to run through the agenda for tonight. You are all welcome again to this important section. At this time, we're going to talk about the kindergarten eligibility, the kindergarten registration process, the kindergarten lottery, and the next step after the lottery. And of course, we're glad to welcome all questions, and I'm sure we'll be able to answer your question. Who is eligible to register for kindergarten? All our beautiful children and handsome children that are 5 years old on or before September 4th, 2023 are eligible to register for kindergarten. I want to state this here. Even though we know many of us must have registered at this time, I want to remind us that even when your kids are already currently in pre-K in low public school or any preschool program, you still need to register them for kindergarten next year. I want to repeat that. While your kid, even if they are in school in pre-K for this current school year, 2022-23, they need to register for kindergarten for the next school year, 2023 to 24. Thank you. Please take note of that. How do you register for kindergarten? We have 3 ways that you can register online. Registration are completed online using our online registration system. You can sit in your house, in your homes, and register via computer. The second way you can register, you can come into the Family Resource Center located at the 151 Merrimack Street to use our computer and fill out the form. You are always welcome. And you can as well schedule an appointment with us by sending a request to our email at familyresourcecenter@low.k.12.ma.us. That is the way, those are the ways we can register our kids for kindergarten at this time. Well, our Family Resource Center is always open from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. And of course, if you are able to schedule an appointment with us, we are always willing to wait after office hour for any appointment scheduled. And you can send your email request to familyresourcecenter@low.k.12.ma.us. We always encourage families to walk in before 3:15 so that we have time to attend to you and help you complete your registration. At this point, we know many of us will speak some other languages. You are always welcome, and we have several support for you. So at this time, I'll call on Vanessa, who is our coordinator, to speak about this. Vanessa, you're welcome.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Demos. I'm the new liaison lead. I speak Portuguese and Spanish. And on the screen right now, we have Diana, Elena, and Beatriz. And it has the languages. You guys can save those phone numbers and texts to make an appointment with us as well. If you prefer to have in Spanish or Portuguese, we are here to support all families at any time that you need, okay? So please save our numbers or our emails. And if you need any help or support, feel free to contact us, okay? Thank you. I'll give it back to Absola.
Thank you, Vanessa. So at this time, we'll move on to the kindergarten lottery. Why do we have lotteries? Lotteries are held for any school when we have more families requesting for a school than we have available seats. So in essence, if there are schools that many families have indicated their intention as their first choice, and we have them requesting more than the available seats that we have at this time, that particular school will automatically go into the lottery. We have 3 lottery sections, and at this time, the first lottery, we want to fill up to 60% of available seats will be filled. And the first lottery for this year, for the next school year, 2023 to 24, these are the following schools that are in the lottery. We have the Bailey School, we have the Bartlett, we have the Maury, we have the Pawtucketville, we have Pan Art and Washington. Families that have selected any other elementary school apart from these 6 schools will get their, during this application time that we started this application from January 1st up to 24th. And family were notified to ensure they submit their application by April 24th. So if you have been able to submit your application by April 24th, you will automatically be assigned your first choice. If your first choice does not fall to one of these 6 schools, the next slide. If you selected a first choice school that requires a lottery, please take note of the following information. For the school assignment policy, several factors will be given priority weight within school lotteries as a way to ensure the goals of voluntary consent decree, ethnic balancing, are met in addition to the district goals for equitable access for all students to schools and programs across the district. For this year, 2023-24 lottery, the lottery will be weighted and we take into consideration the following factors. Number 1, siblings factors. If we have siblings in the attending to the applying to the same schools, we take note of the McKinneyVento status and the minority/non-minority status and proximity of a family's home to a school. These are the factors that we take into consideration at this time for the kindergarten lottery. Our school assignment notices, families that apply for non-lottery school will be notified of their child's placement starting from Monday, May 8, 2023. This is what we mean. Assuming a family, if you do not apply to any of the 6 schools that will go into the lottery, by May 8, you'll be notified of your child's placement starting from Monday, May 8, 2023. The school assignment letters will be sent to the email account that was used during the registration process. And a copy of that letter also will be sent via US postal mail. If you have not received your letter via email by May 15, please free to contact the Family Resource Center by email. I want to plead with us, our families and parents on this webinar, that you should please give us some time and hold off on making placement inquiries until after May 15, when the first round of notification is complete. We need some time to do our processing. So if you have not received, just hold on to any inquiries until after May 15. Thank you. And you can always reach us at this telephone number 978-674-4321. Or you can send an email to Family Resource Center at low.k12.ima.us.
And Abisola, we have a question. I see that Rebecca's typing an answer, so maybe Rebecca could just answer it for everyone in case other people have this same question. The question is, what happens if both your first choice and second choice is in the lottery schools? Is there any chance to get into either?
Hi, Jen. Yes, I don't mind taking that question. So if your first choice was a lottery school, Abisola and her staff will be calling you. If you win a seat, then you'll get your first choice. You won the lottery. If you did not win a seat in your first choice school, which was a lottery school, Abisola will be calling you to see if you want to go into the second lottery and try again for your first choice, or if you would like to go into round 2 for your second choice school. It gets a little complicated, but you have some options. It really depends whether or not you win a seat in that for that first choice school. If you don't, Abisola will be calling you and she'll explain those choices to you again, but you actually have a few options. If you win a seat, then it's really irrelevant. You'll go to your first choice school.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I have another question here. I'll just take it because it's connected, Abisola. It says, what is the second lottery? The school assignment policy actually calls for 3 lotteries throughout the summer. We're talking about the first lottery period, and then the second lottery will take place in June. I don't have the exact date. Abisola can tell us.
And that will be in the next slide. We have all that in the next slide.
And then there'll be a third lottery, which is usually held on August 1st. Those are the 3 lotteries we hold throughout the summer to fill the first batch of kindergarten registrations, because then, of course, we have folks that come in August, right? And we finish registering all of our kindergartners in August for folks just arriving to the city. And then I have another question that says, does needing a 504 plan have any effect on the lottery? No, it does not. An IEP would. So an IEP, which is an individualized education plan for our special education students, that could impact your placement. So if your child needs a specialized placement, special education will be like your child needs a separate program for example, a life skills class or an autism class. And those programs are only housed in certain schools. And special education will communicate your placement for your child directly to you, okay? If your child just needs an inclusion setting to service their needs, then we'll place you based on everything we just explained through the lottery process, okay? And there's another lottery question. If you did not choose a lottery school for any of your choices and are assigned your first choice, is it possible to apply for a transfer to a lottery school and get on a wait list? The answer would be yes, but that would happen after we finish placing all of our kindergarten students. How do we find out if a school is a lottery school? Abisola just mentioned that those schools. She'll repeat those for you.
The six lottery schools for this year are the Bailey, the Bartlett, the Morey, the Pawtucketville, Pine Arts, and Washington.
The next question is, so we will get a call to tell us if we were chosen as well as not chosen. if you were selected in a lottery and you won the lottery, then you're going to receive an email with your assignment letter saying that you were placed. We're not going to call you. You'll get it directly in the postal mail and in your email. If you did not win the lottery, then Abisola and her staff will be contacting you, because that's when you have to make some other decisions. All right. And if you don't, is there just one more question there?
Yeah,
If you don't win a seat in the first lottery and go into the second lottery, will you automatically get into the non-lottery school? For example, if Pine is my first choice and Riley is my second, if I opt to go into the second lottery for the Pine, would I still get into the Riley? All right, good question. As long as there's seats still in the Riley. All right. So in theory, right, all of the seats could be taken. So you have to decide whether or not you want to take that chance or not. I hope that answers your question. Okay. All right, Abisola, sorry. I just want to, since I did one, I figured I'd do them all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're welcome.
So after you get your assignment letter, please plan to bring your assignment letter with you on your child's first day of school. Of course, you'll be hearing from your child's school with additional information about preparing for the first day of school. That will be an anxiety time for every one of us, especially parents, to have our kids in school. And the first day of kindergarten for 2023 to 24 school year will be September 6th. Please take note of that. And please know that this is a later start date than grades 1 to 12. They resume earlier, a week earlier than kindergarten students. So we all know that before you can be accepted, your child must be cleared by our nurses. So we have a very good news for us. The Lowell General Hospital has opened an immunization clinic for us, and it is located on the main campus of the Lowell General Hospital. And the hours are Tuesday from 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. If there is need for your child to get immunization, you can as well reach out to us. We give you more information about that. So there is a number to call. You can call and schedule your appointment at 978-937-6023 and let them know that you want to make an appointment for pediatric immunization clinic. Thank you. So the school assignment notices, we still continue on that. For families that apply for one of the 6 first-ranked lottery schools, I'm sure Rebecca has touched most of this thing. We'll start notifying you via email by May 15, like I said earlier, if you received a seat in the lottery. If you did not receive an assignment in your first choice lottery school, you will be notified and asked if you want your second choice school. If your second choice was not designated for a lottery or your third is not as well. So we have to be very careful. I want to give an example. Assuming you are in zone 1 and your first choice is the Bailey, your second choice is the Maury, and your third choice is the Pawtucket. The 3 schools are already in the lottery. So that means if you don't get in your first choice, that might be the Bailey, you might not have the opportunity to be given a choice to be in the Maury on the Pawtucket bill. That is what we are trying to explain, and which Rebecca did earlier. The next slide. If you want to be re-entered into the second lottery for your first choice school, you will need to deny your second choice or your third choice assignment and request to be re-entered into the lottery. Assuming you are able to get into your first choice, unfortunately, your second choice and your third choice is not a lottery school, then you have the opportunity to either reapply to be in the second lottery, or you want to be assigned into your second or your third choice, which depends on if there is any seat available in that school. You will not need to resubmit any application to be reconsidered for the second lottery, and you will be automatically entered into the second lottery period by your request. At the second lottery, like the first one, we plan to fill up to 60% of the seats available, and the second lottery will take place on June 14th, and a minimum of 20% of the total seats will be filled. The third lottery will take place on August 2nd, and the remainder of available seats will be filled. The next slide will show us all the rounds of the lottery. The round one, which we believe anyone that have registered and submitted their application by April 24th will be eligible for the first lottery by May 15, 2023. The round two of the lottery will be anyone that have registered between April 25th and June 7th, 2023 to be eligible for the second lottery by June 14, 2023. The round three of the lottery, which is the last one, will be for everyone that have registered between June 8, 2023 and July 26, 2023 to be eligible for the final lottery by August 2, 2023. These are the rounds of the lottery that we have for this year. Like I mentioned earlier, for you to be eligible for this first lottery, you must have submitted all required documents. And for those who submitted their registration on or before April 24th, and you were not able to upload your document for one reason or the other, you still have the opportunity to come over to the Family Resource Center, or you upload in your homes. You can come by on or before Friday, May 5th, to be included in the first lottery. That would be a great opportunity for you to be considered. And we have been talking about the documents, the required documents to complete your child's registration. The first one is the child's birth certificate, your child's immunizations record, your photo ID, your proof of low residency. One of the following is acceptable: the current gas, which is not more than 30 or 45 days, your cable bill, or your lease or mortgage agreement. If you are unable to provide one of these items as proof of address, please have a conversation with us. We abide by the McKinneyVento Education Act relating to students and family experiencing homelessness. At this point, I want to call on our McKinneyVento family lead, and that is Sarah Satowski, to come up and talk more about the McKinneyVento.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to take a brief minute to talk about what McKinneyVento is, and if you have any questions, you can always get in contact with us. So McKinneyVento Homeless Education Act is a federal act that ensures that homeless students have equal access to the same free and appropriate public education as provided to other students. We have a department here to help you that is located in the Family Resource Center at 151 Merrimack Street. So this could mean a lot of different things. If you are living with a friend, a relative, or don't have any of the bills required for proof of address, you would see our department. If you're living in a shelter, you can provide a shelter letter. If you're living in a hotel, motel, car, tent, any type of living situation that you wouldn't consider a house, you would come see us. If you are unaccompanied, living on a couch, or bouncing homes, that would also be another way for you to come see us. If you think that you might fall into this category, I would definitely give us a call or email us. Your best bet is to probably email us. Abisola and I work hand in hand together in the Family Resource Center, so she can always get in contact with me if you guys come in and have questions as well. If you are living with a friend, relative in their house and don't have any bills in your name at that house, you would need to complete something called a third-party affidavit. And we would be happy to provide that document and have conversations about what that means. You guys would both need your IDs, and the person that you're living with would also need a copy of a bill in their name at that address. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you, Abisola.
Thank you, sir. On that note, we have talked about this transportation, how you get your kids to school. We have talked about the registration process. We have talked about the lottery. We have talked about the required documents needed to get your kids registered for kindergarten next school year. If there is any other question, we can take that at this time.
Yep, there's some questions in the chat here. What if your child is in the process of being evaluated for special education services? How will that affect their lottery?
Sure, I can take that, Abisola, if you don't mind. So we would work hand in hand with the special education department. So if they're in the middle, if they're currently in the process for evaluation, we would check with SPED to see what is the result of the evaluation and if there's going to be a specialized placement. So we wouldn't make a final determination on if you could go into your online registration and make a note of that in the notes section, that would be helpful. If not, I would email the Family Resource Center so Abisola can make a note of that in your child's registration. And that way we know who to look for in this particular case. But the same answer goes for everyone. If we're aware of a process, the SPED process evaluation, then we would work hand in hand with the special education family liaison to make sure that we're placing correctly.
All right, here's a good question. So this mom is putting her two sons in Lowell Public for the first time. Her oldest is entering first grade and her middle son will be entering kindergarten. Does this mean the first grader will get into the Bailey and the kindergartner may not because of the lottery?
Sure. So we'll actually be placing the kindergarten student first. So it will depend upon whether or not, because we don't start placing the grades 1 through 8 until at least June, until the end of the school year, because we do the kindergarten students first. So if your child happens to win the kindergarten seat in the first round, then the child will be going to the Bailey. And we do our best to keep siblings together. So we'll do everything we can then, if you win that seat, to keep the older child at the Bailey as well. But of course, that depends upon whether or not the child has a special education plan and requires a different placement. And of course, as long as there's seats available. It's very unlikely that we would split up the siblings, but I always just like to put those two caveats out there. If for some reason you don't win the seat in the lottery, you may not, we may not know till round 2, right, for the Bailey. But we're going to work hand in hand with the family. So, because we don't want the kids in different schools. Okay.
All right. If your first two choices are lottery schools, are you put in both drawings for the first lottery?
No,
No.
it goes just for your first choice school.
Choice.
All right. That's an easy one. And here's a vaccine question. My kid is short 4 vaccines, which are due in the years 4 to 6 years of age. Does this impact the lottery selection for admission to kindergarten?
No, it doesn't impact your lottery, but your child, if they're not medically cleared by the first day of school, they won't be allowed to go into the school and start their classes. So it's not going, so you'll tentatively get your school assignment, but you won't be able to start until they're actually cleared.
All right. And how can you add evaluation documents for the child? Is
The
there a
same-
place to upload
Yep.
them?
Yep, the same
Sure.
way you would upload any other documents. If you're unfamiliar or if you had difficulty doing that, you can bring them directly into Abisola and her staff and they'll upload them for you.
All right, terrific. Do we have any other questions? If you have any other questions, you can just type them right into the Q&A bar and we can answer them for you before we wrap up here. Okay. Can we have the number to make the appointment for our child to be evaluated for school?
Sure. I can give you the name. I want to type, if I type Jen, will they see it?
If you type in the chat and you select that it goes to everyone,
Okay. So the lady's name, who is the special education liaison, is Kim Porter. And her email, I'm going to type in the chat right now with her name. Hang on. Okay, Porter. So did I hit it? Did it go through?
yeah, it should have went through. So, yep. So if anyone else is interested in that, her name is Kim Porter and her email is kporter, Porter, at lowell.k12.ma.us. And, you can always also call the Family Resource Center at 978-674-4321 if you have any other questions as they come up as you're going through this process with your children. Let's see, we got a couple more here. All right. What if, according to the vaccination schedule, my son won't have all the required shots, but just half of required doses?
You should speak to the health department. They should clear the child anyway, because this is not an uncommon situation. But I would reach out just to the health department, just to talk with them directly, because they're really the ones that oversee that. But this is not an uncommon issue. So you should be cleared. Next lady, sorry, I meant evaluated at the Lowell General Hospital. I would reach out to me directly, just so I can, your question's kind of unique to yourself. So I'm going to put my email to you, ma'am, so I can answer your question directly about your child, okay? So I'm going to send my email to you directly, okay? So I can better, is your questions unique to your child?
And if they've already done the registration process and it's been submitted, can we still log on and add documents? Or should it be
Yeah.
emailed?
No, you can still log in and upload as long as it hasn't been completed by the clerk. It might be easier just to bring them in, but as long as the clerk hasn't finished processing it, you can still log in and upload them.
How do I get my child dial screened before the school year?
Contact Mrs. Porter. Again, Kim Porter.
All right, Kim Porter, and that's kporter@lowell.k12.ma.us.
Yes.
All right. Do we need readiness screenings like other cities and towns?
No, ma'am. Or sir. Sorry, I don't know who asked me the question.
It's anonymous attendee, so we don't know.
Okay.
All right, let's see. And that's all of them right now. All right, last call for questions, everyone, for tonight, but you can always contact the Family Resource Center if you have further questions, either by email or telephone. And you can find all the information on the Lowell Public Schools website. Also, this meeting is being recorded and it will be uploaded to the Lowell Public Schools YouTube channel if you want to watch it again and again. Pop some popcorn. I think that I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think we did another fantastic job, ladies.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
One last comment. We have a Smores with all the information that was displayed on the slides here tonight. And I'd like all of you to have access to it. I've posted on the chat the link, but I am not sure that the parents were able to,
No, because I think you posted it only to hosts and panelists. What I can
Yeah.
do is I have all the emails of the people that signed up for tonight, so I'll just email it out to everyone.
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Good
everyone. Have
night.
a
Thank
great
you,
night.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.